Welcome. I'm the DeadwoodJedi, and today I'm kind of excited. We're doing another Raid Shadow Legend video. I'm in here, Destroyed's account. We're doing a takeover for him, clan boss takeover. Now, a lot of times what I'm doing are like Ultra Nightmare, end game kind of builds, but I also do a fair amount of these lower level stuff. Destroyed is doing 16, 18 million on hard, 11 to 12 million on brutal. So we're going to see if we can't take them all the way up to Nightmare and see what we can't do. Now, typically, guys, I do these videos and I go in there and I show you what they've done or what they haven't done and, you know, kind of go, oh, this is wrong and this is not good. We're not going to do that today, all right? I went in there, I just started gearing it because you know what? I'm doing a lot of these takeovers right now, a fair amount anyway, and sometimes I just need to get in there and get some work done. And you know what? Frankly, you don't need to see what other people aren't doing right. You need to see what we want to do right. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to focus on that. And I think the biggest thing when you're talking about a clan boss team, when you're talking about brutal, when you're talking about nightmare, when you're talking about hard for that matter, your champions mean so much. And when you can augment your stuff with good champions and auras, it makes all the difference in the world. Look, when you're fighting brutal, when you're fighting hard, when you're fighting nightmare level clan boss, there's usually 3 stats that are going to be the biggest difficulty to get because it's all about the gear, right? Getting the right gear, getting enough of it is so hard in this game, especially early on. And so those 3 stats become really difficult to get. Obviously, the first one has got to be defense. That's hard to get. You know, when I'm trying to build my clan boss team, I know I've read somewhere out there that you want 3,000 defense for Ultra Nightmare and 2,500 or 2,700 for Nightmare. You want 3,000 for Nightmare to last. You want 3,500 for Ultra Nightmare. Like, those for me are the thresholds, the benchmarks. You need the defense. You need those 5-star, 6-star defense percentage gloves, chest, boots to get you to that level. You need, you know, maxed out shields with defense substats. Like, it's hard. It's very hard to get there. The other thing that you need is accuracy. You can't, if you can't hit them, if you can't place your debuffs, ain't no point bringing them to the party. So accuracy becomes a huge thing to get. And we just went over in my last video Drexthar and how his aura of accuracy can make it so much easier to move from brutal to nightmare to ultra nightmare because that aura means that you don't need a accuracy banner or you don't need that accuracy chest piece because the aura is going to cover a lot of that. Makes it a lot easier to gear up. And gear is the hardest thing to get in this game. And then the last thing, the last of those 3 skills that you really need on for your champions to thrive, that's what we're bringing in our champion today for, and that's speed. Speed is the most important stat in this game. The #1 stat in this game is speed, guys. If you can't go, you can't win. You don't hit them. What's the point of bringing all the firepower? And if you don't get to go, then you don't get a chance to hit them. And it's really important. It's huge in clan boss, obviously, being able to time everything out. That's what I do, obviously, speed tuning and whatnot. But speed is huge. And when you're struggling at the hard level, brutal level, nightmare level, getting gear with speed substats is really difficult. Even with speed boots, sometimes it's hard to get to that speed you need. When you have champions going on 4-3 ratios, you're talking you need like 220 speed on a champion. That's hard to do. That's hard for anybody to do. And it's really hard to do that and still have life steal gear so you can stay alive. Like, it's a challenge, guys. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring in a spectacular champion, Duchess. Duchess, if you don't know, Duchess is amazing. The thing that Duchess brings that's so unique is not just the Veil buff that she brings on all her allies so they take less damage. It's not just the block debuff ability that she brings for all her allies so we don't take any debuffs or stuns. It's not the passive that reduces the damage the clan boss deals on AoE attacks. No. None of that amazing stuff. What's great about her is this speed aura. 19% in all battles. That means it works for clan boss. Now, sure, that 19% only affects your base speed. So you're talking at most 21 speed that you're adding to your champions, but that 21 speed is huge, guys. Huge. When you need to get your champions to a 4-3 ratio, when you're looking to try and get them to 225 speed so that they can take their turns in order, that becomes huge. huge. So we're going to bring in Duchess. And because of that, we're going to be able to lower the speeds of all of our champions. It's going to be great. The key is, it's not just about gearing one champion or two champions, because we can find the gear for that. We can get Duchess to 250 if we needed to. Maybe not in lifesteal, but we could get her to speed. The hard part is getting all 5 champions in lifesteal with the prerequisites and at a speed we can use. So Duchess, with her aura, doesn't just lower the threshold for our fast champions. We're bringing in Duchess. She needs to be on a 4-3 ratio. It's a 4-turn cooldown for this ability. We're also bringing Sepulchre Sentinel, who, guess what, needs to be on a 4-3 ratio because 4-turn cooldown on this ability. So those two we have to get to a 4-3 ratio. The great part is the other 3 champions we can bring down to a real slow speed and still keep them at the 1-1 that we need. And that's going to be huge because that means we don't need speed substats on all of our gear. Speed boots can do wonders at that point. So let me go ahead and show you guys the gear that we're using. I'll start with Duchess because she's just amazing. She's huge for us. She's a defensive champion. You can see we haven't rolled everything up. I generally try not to roll up stuff that either we don't need or isn't ideal to keep long term. And in this case, we didn't need to roll all of that up. We have her at 204 speed. With the aura that's going to get close to 223 or so, that will put her in a 4-3 ratio for Nightmare Clan Boss. We have 4,000 defense there, 44,000 HP. That's going to make her nice and tanky, which is what we need. She is taking the stun. So I'd love to have that defense higher than the HP relative, but we're going to be very happy with this. It's going to last a nice long time. She's an amazing champion, and obviously we can up this build. We got 4-star gloves on, guys. Get 5-star, that only helps, you know. We got speed boots. We could get speed substats on defensive boots and take those out. That would help too. There's a lot of room to improve on this, but this is an account that's doing brutal and hard clan boss, so to be expected. We are bringing in Rosin Scarhide. Rosin's amazing with the debuffs, obviously. We have him going at a very slow 155. That's basically a true speed of about 173. So it's still faster than the Nightmare Clan boss because of that aura. Huge, huge, guys. 3,200 defense could definitely be higher. 38,000 health is really nice. We have the crit rate is perfect. The crit damage a little bit lower. We can obviously bump that. But we were struggling to get this accuracy up. We got it to just the bare minimum for Nightmare, about 200. So that's going to keep us in good stead and keep that weaken and decrease defense debuffs off. And we need that to do some damage. And you can see there is room to improve here. We have both of these are not rolled up. And I'm not going to because I'm not in love with them. This is a great piece. Don't get me wrong. But really, he should be having a crit damage piece here with that kind of crit rate and just do more damage. But our defense is a little bit low right now. If we could roll up a good ring, a better ring than this one, then maybe that would offset it a bit. But there's room to improve, as you can see. We also have Sepulchre Sentinel in here. Again, would love to have a little higher defense, but 3,500 is not bad. 32,000 HP is going to be good for her. She has a pretty low base, and we do have some good crit rate on her. And the accuracy is right where we need it to be. And you can see she's going at 206 speed. It's still going to be a 4-3 ratio. It's right around 224 and it's true speed value. It's fantastic, fantastic champion, good build. Obviously, there's a little bit of room to improve some of this stuff, but for where we are right now, it's not worth using the silver for that. Let's wait until we maybe get something a little better, and if not, we can always roll those up later. Then we're going to bring in Frozen Banshee as our poisoner. So we got a mixed set on her with lifesteal. 3,300 defense is excellent. 35,000 HP is great. 154 speed, again, so slow, and it works so well. 254 accuracy there. It's going to be, that's Ultra Nightmare. This is an Ultra Nightmare build, truthfully, except for the speed. But you can see, we don't have any speed on that. We don't have any speed on this. We have very little speed substats in any of these builds, and that's what Duchess allows us to do. We don't have a lot of other stats available to us. We have Skull Crusher here, again, mixed set. Again, slow speed, 153. 40,000 HP, 4,400 defense. Excellent, excellent. And let me just point out, we have an accuracy banner on him. Why? Because it's the only one that we have available, really, guys, that fits the speeds that we need. If we can get an HP banner, defensive banner, it's going to be huge for this, huge for this. So there are limitations, obviously, to these builds, guys. But that's the thing. At Nightmare, Brutal, and Hard, you got to work with not only the champions you have, but the gear you have, too. And so this is a great way. Duchess makes doing that a lot easier. Not everybody has Duchess. I don't want you to feel like you have to have her to be successful. It's not the case. Not everybody has Drexthar. You don't have to have him to be successful. But we all have unique champions, and you want to use their abilities to the maximum. And sometimes that means using their aura. In this case, it does. So those are the champions we're bringing to this party. I really like this. I think it's going to be a nice, good build for us, and I think you're going to be pretty impressed with it. So let's go ahead and jump in. Now, the clan boss setup is very simple. It works pretty much right from the get-go. So let's go ahead and jump into it, and I will show you exactly what I'm talking about. We are going to be blocking the debuffs pretty much the entire fight, so there's really no worries about any of that. And just to double check all my my cooldowns and stuff that I have here. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to A1 with Sepulchre Sentinel. We're going to A1 with Duchess, and then everybody else gets to use their skill. Everybody's faster than Clan Boss, which is great. So we're going to be able to get counterattack up right away, put the decreased defense and weaken on right away, and we are in good shape there. And the way this works, Sepulchre Sentinel is going to take their double turn after the stun. So they'll actually go, she'll actually go after Skull Crusher. So now we're going to go ahead and use Sepulchre Sentinel's block debuffs and increased defense ability. And Duchess we're going to wait one more turn with. And then we will be in good shape here. Basically, you just have to manual this first cycle, and then it's easy breezy, and it should fall into place perfectly every time. But Sepulchre's going to basically we're not using Sepulchre's block defense ability. We're using her increased defense ability, I guess is what I'm trying to say there. Not the block debuff, but the increased defense is what we're using. And then, so now Duchess is going to go ahead and use this, the top of this one. And that's going to make us unkillable. Also going to draw the stun to Duchess, and we can click auto, and we're good to go. So Duchess takes a double turn before or between the AoEs is where that double turn comes. And that double turn is going to allow her to place the veil so that it lasts for both the second AoE as well as the stun. So it makes us unkillable. Sepulchre Sentinel is going to take their double turn after the stun, so they're going to go last right before the first AoE, which means the increased defense will be on everybody for the first AoE and the second AoE, except for Duchess because she takes that double turn after that. But basically, the reason why these guys are set up the way they are is to keep us as tanky as possible. It would be great if I could have everybody with the ally protection from Skull Crusher, but it's not realistic. When you have multiple people doing 4-3 ratios, it's very difficult to time all the skills so that they cover everybody and all the stuff. We are better off having Duchess and Sepulchre Sentinel, two of our tougher champions, not having the ally protection, but instead having the veil and having the increased defense. So that's just kind of the way I've worked it anyway, and I think you're going to be pretty happy with the results. But I'm going to get off the screen. We'll let this play, and then when it's all said and done, I'll... 31.3 million, guys. Pretty good. I mean, we were doing 10 million on Brutal. We're in easy 2-key Nightmare. Arguably 1-key range in Nightmare. A little bit more gear, a little bit more crit rate and damage. Yeah, I think we could do that. I'm pretty happy with that. I think that's a pretty significant build right there. Yeah, this is the kind of stuff, the kind of change you want to make. But it's all about using your champions the right way. I mean, it's not like these are great champions, but the gear wasn't there. We didn't have it. I didn't even show you guys this, but I just want to give you an example of what I'm talking about when I say the gear isn't there. If I filter substat speed, let's look at the lifesteal that we got. That's it. That's all the lifesteal with speed that's left. That's everything. That includes a crit damage glove, an HP chest, 2 boots. Like, there's not a lot there. If we do primary stat defense percentage, no chest pieces, no gloves. This is the problem. And when you don't have the gear, it makes it really hard to gear up your champions. I mean, just make that, it's logical, it makes sense, but like, that's the truth of it. So, you know, when you have that kind of trouble, you got to find whatever shortcuts you can to get around it. Now, one of the things I always recommend, come to campaign, when you're leveling up your champs, go over here, level up some lifesteal gear. Doesn't hurt. You're going to get 5 and 6 star stuff, get some speed boots, get some defensive chests, get some defensive gloves. Even if it doesn't have speed on it, man, at least you're getting the kind of gear you want. You can usually fit 1 or 2 pieces into your build. I did that. That really helped me a lot in my own personal account trying to gear up. But, you know, the little things like that. Anyway, bringing in Duchess was huge for this account. I think this is obviously a huge success for us. I mean, we were talking about doing hard clan boss level. We're not going to be doing hard again. There's no need at this point. This is 1 key on hard, easy. Possibly a 1 key on brutal at this point. But by bringing in those speeds, we really were able to make everything work. Now, if you guys are trying to replicate this, just be aware, those speeds are pretty tight. If you alter the speeds by 1 or 2 points either way, it can throw off the entire speed tune. So make sure you check it in the calculator first. I mean, that's going to tell you whether it works or not. But check it in the calculator. Make sure you're getting those 4-3 ratios where you want them. Make sure you're getting repetition where you need it so you have a consistent speed tune. That's really at the heart of this. One of the things that's going to make this super successful. I mean, you don't have to use Sepulchre Sentinel. We could have brought in Jareg, and that might have been even more successful for us. There's lots of options as far as ways to tune your team, and you just want to be aware of them before you make your decisions. So, in any case, hopefully this was helpful for you guys. As always, this is a pleasure. If you liked the video, hit the like. If you're still here, hit the subscribe. What are you waiting for? You seem to enjoy the videos. I'm going to keep bringing them out for you guys, but you don't want to miss it. So go ahead and hit the subscribe, hit the like button, leave a comment down below. I'd love to hear what you guys think. Do you guys want to see more of this nightmare kind of content? I'll try to bring it to you as best I can. I'll try to bring you some of these more outlandish kind of compositions where the speeds are a little bit quirky. We've got some cool stuff coming up, guys. Going to be doing some champion focus stuff. We just did Drexthar last video. We did Duchess this video. Got some cool ones coming up. Got Vergis on deck for sure. I'm going to be doing some spotlights for a Steel Skull for sure. It's going to be fun, guys. Anyway, this is a pleasure. As always, I cannot wait till the next time. Till next we meet, I'm the Deadwood Jedi.